everyone, and welcome to Command Center, your video game book club podcast. My name is Daniel, and with me is...
Nathaniel Lamb.
The fuck are you laughing at?
The movement of your head and jaw when you were intentionally saying club. You said your video game book club podcast. Like, I could see you angry at your lips so they wouldn't say clave.
Thank you.
I thought you said butt club.
Butt club.
It really sounded like...
I was watching you intently, and he clearly wasn't listening.
I was.
Are you going to introduce yourself, or are you just going to sit there
Oh,
like
I
a
thought we were
jackass?
going to start over.
No. We're
All right,
still recording.
Well, I'm Jackass.
Jackass. Jackass. I don't know if you introduced yourself. You just started laughing.
No, I did.
You did?
I said
Okay.
Nathaniel Lamb.
Nathaniel Lamb.
Not my full name.
Nathaniel Troy Lamb.
Now the wizards will get me.
Oh, and his social is... Okay.
Oh, I thought you meant, like, social media. You mean, like, you were going to give my social security number out.
Yeah.
Do you know it?
No.
Okay, good. That's, thank you.
The fear in his voice.
Hey, the amount of times I've been like, yeah, the passwords, you're like, I fucking know it. I'm like, oh. It's like, hang on, let me give you my card. My pin is, I know. It's like, oh, Jesus.
So are you saying he has your mom?
No.
What?
Got your mom?
Okay.
Go ahead, give him password, too.
Nate 1960 with a capital N. Don't worry, I'm going to edit this out.
Well, now I'll have to learn how to edit out video.
So this month, or last month, we played Diablo 2. Hopefully you guys did as well. Little background about the game. Why do you look confused?
Sorry.
Did you forget what game we played?
No, I forgot what month it was.
It was last month.
This whole, like, doing this recording later on and threw me the hell off, because when you said last month, I was like, wait, what the fuck?
Well, it's always over the last month.
Yeah, but this time it's literally in
It
last
was literally,
month.
yeah, we're late.
Yeah.
We're late on this one. I'm not
And
sorry.
I'm Catholic. We don't have any options.
I'm not sorry. We're all busy. So a little background about the game. Developed by Blizzard in 2000. It was a sequel, obviously, to 1997's Diablo. Lords of Destruction.
No.
Lord, is it Lord?
It's Lord.
Shit.
It's Lord.
Yeah, Lord.
700
I said
text
it.
messages, 14 arguments, several website edits, and we still don't fucking know the name of that fucking game.
I said it like 5 times before this podcast started, just so I could
But
get
you were
it
inside,
right.
he was going, Lord of Destruction.
Lord of
Lord
Destruction.
of Destruction.
You know
Lord
what?
of
In
Destruction.
any other kind of setting, that'd be really creepy.
Oh, if he took off of Destruction, he might just be a stalker. Just Lord.
Lord.
Well, Dan and I were just talking last night. Imagine the random shit that we say when we're playing video games out here and people are just walking by, or the people next door.
Yeah. Okay. So we're out here and we're just playing Rocket League or something, and from next door we hear, "What the fuck? What the hell is that?" And then like doors opening and closing, and like I had a mouthful of beer and I nearly spit it everywhere. It was very funny to me. And then I was thinking like, okay, that was funny, but how many times were we playing Deep Rock Galactic?
Yeah.
And we're like, hey, do you guys want a deep cock?
Yeah.
And then like, oh, there's a vagina on the
Big
wall.
boomer,
Yeah.
big
Like-
boomer. Some old woman is walking past with her dog, trying to lose weight, and you guys start yelling, "Big boomer!
Big boomer.
Big jiggly thing running at me.
So
Just imagining all the cursing of Rocket League, like,
exactly. Like, it was still funny. This is unrelated to later on in the night where a cat jumped onto the roof and made like a banging noise, and Jason said, "Oh shit, I think it's a cat." And then subsequently, like half a second later, I spit my beer out everywhere outside, and he was like, "Jesus, why are you so scared?" But there was a moth in my beer that I had just drank, so he thought I was just like, "There's a cat on the roof." I was like,
I thought he was genuinely like concerned there was a cat on the roof. I was like, what the fuck?
what if it falls?
Anyway, Lord of Destruction. The expansion to Diablo 2 was released in 2001. Diablo 3 was released in 2012, and Diablo 4 was recently announced, which I'm super excited for.
Oh shit, I forgot about that.
Yeah. Diablo 2,
Yeah.
the game that we had just played, was announced by Blizzard in 1997. 2 years were set for development, but they took 3. And I love that because take your goddamn time and see what happens.
Polish that.
Polish it. Interestingly enough, Diablo 2 got the 2000 Guinness World Record for the fastest selling computer game. They had more than 1 million sales in the first 2 weeks.
Oh, nice.
Even more interestingly to me, that record was subsequently beaten by more Blizzard games, namely Warcraft 3, World of Warcraft Burning Crusade, World of Warcraft The Lich King, World of Warcraft, Cataclysm, and then Diablo 3.
Oh man, I kind of was hoping you made it like a game and had us guess which ones. That would have been
Oh,
fun.
that would have been good.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
should have stopped you.
Let's go back in time.
well. I mean, we
Well,
can.
it's too late now.
We could just cut it.
Yeah, and have you guys already know the answers to the game that we're
Shit.
going to play?
You're right.
I was making.
Well, you mean like live TV?
Yeah, that one. We're going to get the canned laughter and like, ooh!
oh, canned laughter. I've never heard anyone not refer to it as a laugh track. I was like, candle after. What
Same
the hell is a
shit.
candle after?
Candle laughter.
That's what I heard, and it took me several seconds to assemble canned laughter.
I also want to take this opportunity for everyone to go ahead and wave at the camera. Hi.
We're
Hi.
recording this one.
This is Daniel.
I'm Nate.
There's Nate.
I'm
there's,
Jackass.
There's Jackass.
Yeah.
So you guys know what we look like now. I'm sorry.
This may never release because we'll see, but
Oh, it's going to release because it's on the audio now. Go to our YouTube. If Nate has to put it up now.
yes, I do. And most importantly, I want the YouTube comments to be filled with comments about Jason's ugly feet and how he should have worn nicer shoes. Flip-flops are completely unprofessional for a podcast.
I wanted to wear nice shoes.
Nice feet. You almost said
I
it.
almost said nice feet. I cut myself off.
I presume you had to cut your feet off to get on
I
nicer
have
ones.
literally the most handsome feet in the world. I was actually just telling the story the other day. I was in high school economics class, and
This is going to get weird, isn't it?
it is going to get weird.
I already had a few comebacks, but I'm going to wait and see.
There's a regular class going on, and some reason, this woman I knew,
Woman.
Yeah.
she stopped the class because back then like dudes started wearing sandals in class and whatnot.
When you say it was a woman you knew, was it your teacher?
Sorry, I guess I don't know.
Yeah,
what
that's
to
what I was
say
thinking.
right now.
Like
I guess
when I was in school,
'cause
I never would have
it's-
considered any of my female co-students, co-eds.
What would you
whatever,
say?
as
Classmates?
Kid?
classmates. I would say girl or boy. So
All
when
right,
you said
girl.
woman, I was
there was
like,
a girl. There was a girl in
she
class.
was held back a lot of grades.
But to more context, I would wear sandals all the time. I would wear those Crocs. Remember those ugly ass Crocs?
The red ones?
The red ones
knew
that I
you
had
wore those to
forever.
school?
Yeah,
They were
dude.
evil.
And guess what? I never got made fun of because, and this, I almost said woman again. This girl
This woman.
stopped the entire class just to comment and say, all these boys wearing sandals all have ugly ass feet. But you know what, man? You have really nice feet.
Listen, your teacher had a foot fetish.
Was this
was
a Catholic
It wasn't a
strange.
teacher.
I-
It wasn't a teacher.
It was just a random adult woman walking into your class.
It was a student.
Oh,
It was a student.
Oh, I was still
It was
under
a
the mindset
student.
that
Yeah,
it was
sorry.
a teacher. Yeah.
No, it was a student. And it just stopped the class and just said that. I don't totally embarrassing, but till this day I always remember and be like, yeah,
You
I have
know,
nice feet.
you know who else has nice feet? The sorceress.
She's got shoes on. There's literally a picture up on the wiki.
The Amazon.
Shoes.
The druid. Or the assassin.
It's not an expansion photo. Give me one moment.
Uh-huh. Well, I can guarantee you she's wearing shoes. I was just trying to get off of Jason's feet. That's
Hey,
for a different podcast.
he asked for it.
It's a different podcast that I run that I'm not
Yeah,
going
if
to
we
tell you
could
guys
not
about.
talk about you getting off on Jason's feet, that'd be great.
That's what I'm trying to say. I don't want to get into that. So
You, can we just cut all of everything we've recorded and start over?
we could, but I'm not going to. It's
All right,
more
all right.
work.
We got to keep this going.
You asked for it.
I didn't at all. I really liked that whole story started with, I have beautiful feet. I know because I said so like some other time. And then you got to the story. So the initial start of that was you have beautiful feet because you fucking say so, which that's why I'm really sexy because I say so.
I didn't say it because I said so, because somebody else said
No,
so.
but before that, you said I was saying so the other day.
I see what
It's
you're
you're
saying.
setting the precedent for why your feet are beautiful. It's because 2 days ago you said my feet are beautiful. I'm like, that's how that works.
If only I knew it was that easy.
Yeah,
before.
yeah. I mean, I've known it was that easy. I'm just too lazy to say my feet are beautiful. Beautiful.
So my earlier segue just failed completely. So one of you guys has to do it now.
So,
Um,
to jump into the game,
Well, yeah, that's why I'm here.
all of us have played this in the past, right? Nobody was new to this one this time.
yeah, but instead of talking about our feet, let's go to our fist. Mephistos.
There we go. That's the kind of high quality shit
There
I'm
we
looking
go.
for. All right.
Personally, I like Hephaestus.
Hephaestus?
No, it's Hephaestus.
What the fuck are you talking about?
The Smith in Act 4.
Okay.
The guy who guards the forge that you go to kill, to go to smash the...
Whoa, spoiler alert.
Oh, fuck off. The game came out in 99?
2000. I just said that.
Yay, the cat's on the roof.
Oh, the cat's on the roof.
Yeah.
This was-
What, should I spit my beer out?
It's audio and video
Boy,
quality.
The man on the... shit!
So yeah, no, I think we all played this
Yeah,
previously.
yeah. Did you guys beat it when you were younger?
Oh yeah, I
sure.
think I played the game for many years. I think I only beat it once.
Same.
And I didn't beat it this time.
I got to hell somehow when I was level 23. Died
that
a
went
whole lot. And then never played again when I was a kid.
Oh, I thought you meant this time. I was like, last
No.
time we talked last week, you were in Act 2.
No.
Did you ever beat Act 2?
I got this Herodric Shaft. I just needed, or the shaft. I'm sorry, I got the shaft,
You got you got the cube and the shaft, not the headpiece yet.
not the headpiece yet.
I got to the beginning of Act 3 and I never started it.
Oh, Act 3 is my favorite, but it'll depress you.
I remember it.
Yeah, it's very dark.
I remember it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we need to give a little synopsis of what this game is. I think, Nate, you're most equipped to do that one.
Oh, great. Basically, the idea is after Diablo 1, you're constantly going down into dungeons under the city of Tristram. Tristram, yeah.
I never played
I
one.
never
the
played
first
it either,
one.
yeah.
Did anybody ever play the first one, honestly?
No, not a single person. That's why they made the second one. They're like, we got to sell this game.
Which is an odd thing to say. This isn't doing well. Make a sequel.
No, the first,
That's completely untrue.
the first one released back when Blizzard wasn't called Blizzard, right after Vivendi purchased them and they had merged with somebody else. I was reading on it earlier. But in the first one, you keep digging down and down and down. You find Diablo in hell and you kill him. And when you kill him, he's got this stone on his head that contains his soul. It's his soul stone. And you need to find a way to contain it and to keep it from, because it's the evil's still coming out of it. So your character, the hero, says, well, I know how I'll contain it. And he sticks it in his head, which is a bad idea because all the cutscenes in Diablo 2, that's the Lone Wanderer. That's your hero from the first one.
I got that from the first cutscene.
So basically, Diablo was killed and cast out of hell, I believe, because you killed him in the first game. I'm not
by the
100%.
lesser, him, Bale, and Mephisto.
And but they're slowly regaining their power. So it's Diablo and his two brothers, and you're pursuing this Wanderer, who is the character from the first game, slowly being taken over by Diablo, just wrecking shit up. And so you have to go around fixing shit.
So other than the story,
Oh.
like kind of like how the game works.
Oh yeah, okay. So it's just a click-fest RPG. This was the second RPG I ever played, and it's technically an RPG. It's a role-playing game, but it's more like it's like the birth of an action RPG where you can't stand still, you can't pause the game. Like Baldur's Gate, I played Icewind Dale, I never played Baldur's Gate. You could pause the game and assign everyone in your party to do what they needed to. This was much more action-oriented. If you weren't clicking, you died.
I'd say hack and slash.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
it's
more of just slash.
Yeah. Not if you're using a bow. It's click and click and click and oh fuck, run away. But it's I don't know how to describe it. It's been like
Procedurally generated maps.
Yeah.
It'll be different every single time you play, which was really new to me anyway. The first
Yeah.
time I played it.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that being like, whoa, that.
Most RPGs like that was like, here's the game, the world we created, and you can play it as many times as you want. This one was like, there's gonna be a different world every time. You're still gonna have the same dungeons and all that, but you're gonna have different special monsters.
I remember it taken me a while to get, even this time, to get used to, instead of like having to click every time, you could just click once and then hold it down and then it'll constantly attack.
which I swear to God, sometimes that would like break. I must have shot like 15, 20 arrows at some of the lower level mobs on every act, let go and click again, and the next arrow I fired would hit them because the first 15 just missed and missed and missed. Like
No, you just suck.
Yeah, that might be it.
How much dexterity did you have?
A lot. The lowest my chance to hit ever was 86, and that was in Act 4. But the big thing about this game that I don't think we had talked about, and the thing that I really liked about it is the loot system.
Yeah.
And the way it's basically an unlimited amount of loot. It's all randomly generated or procedurally. Yeah, it's randomly generated.
Randomly generated.
With
RNG.
just different drop percentages, and it really made the game like, what do you want? Well, go just kill everything again. And it was, I think, the big thing that kept people playing. 'Cause people still play today. Other than us.
So one of my appeals, and I wanted to look this up, I just never got around to doing so, was I'm wondering if this is the first time in a game where you equip things and it actually changes the character and what they look like.
There's plenty of games like that.
No. At that
Before
time,
Diablo, yeah, I don't even know. I didn't play role playing games.
that's what I'm saying. Like then,
I mean, if I had some time to think about it, I might be able to think of one. But I think so. It was 2000. There's plenty of games where you.
this is 2000.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, 2000.
Shit.
Yeah.
Okay, then probably.
Yeah.
I just remember thinking that, that's, I don't know. I mean, even as a kid, I thought that was cool that like whatever you pick up, it actually does change.
I will say that
they
I
look
remember when I was playing back in the day, I was playing on BattleNet, and they had like the online channels you could join to chat, like if you want to trade or just chat with people from different parts of the world and stuff, and like in game lobbies. And whenever you're in a channel, it would have everyone's little avatars, their characters at the bottom. So it was like a way to show off. Like you see all these people with all this cool gear.
I remember this. Yeah.
I would have better gear that I would switch out when I knew I was going to be in the chat because it looked cooler.
Yeah.
And I wanted my person to look cooler, which is completely vain. But
The
I was a child, so fuck you.
The early beginnings of WoW Auction House.
Yeah.
Yeah. This game, when I played it as a kid, like talking about the online stuff, I never played it online. This was like, it was right when I lived in the old neighborhood where your parents live. I would get off the bus, walk, I didn't know Obama thumb that time, walk home and just fucking play Diablo all night. But I never played online. I was always listening to friggin' System of a Down and trying to just grind through the game. I didn't even consider playing online. I had never updated the game. So like when I would come over and talk to you and Brandon about it a few years later, you guys were talking about like stuff I didn't remember at all because I never played online, so I never updated. But I feel like yeah. So I was just running on the base copy in the battle chest. And so the features like the trinkets that you put in your inventory that add modifiers to your damage and whatnot.
Yeah, the charms.
The jewels that could go into socketed weapons. None of that was there. The what's the glyphs? The things,
runes.
The runes that you put in socketed weapons weren't there. So I played it entirely working on building up the right socketed bow and getting the right gems into it. And then playing it this time, I was like, the fuck is all this shit I'm finding on the ground? Like,
I'll say this: I think that the gems might have. I don't know how late they added those, but I don't remember jewels. I guess.
Yeah,
I don't
jewels,
remember those at all. Those were new to me for this
Mm-hmm.
playthrough, and so were the runes. Well, the last time I had played was a long time ago. I think I was maybe in high school when I played, and they had the gems and the skulls and
Mm-hmm.
all that. And I think charms I played when I played they had charms, but
Yeah,
they
you
didn't
and-
have the jewels, they didn't have the runes.
it was about a year after I'd finished the game. I was either on the bus with you and Brandon or over at your place, right when we started to get to know each other. And Brandon was talking about the paladin and the charms, and I was like, "What the hell's a charm?" And he like pulled up a screenshot, and I was like, "What are those things? Those aren't in the game. Somebody's like made that." And he's like, "No man, they're charms." I'm like, Brandon did like, "Yeah man," and like,
Yeah.
it was. I was like, I wouldn't like that. I use every inch of my inventory space.
Yeah, and honestly, those added on, like you guys, I don't remember, at least the jewels, I don't remember those at all. Honestly, I don't even remember the runes. The runes.
No, they weren't there when I played either.
They felt like just an unnecessary add-on.
The charms?
Both of them.
Here's the thing about
the runes and the jewels.
Well, you only got to Act 2, so like you combine them and you get better and better stuff. The charms, I can see, I did keep a couple in there because there were charms that added in elemental damage. So I had one for each element in case I'm facing, a boss or something that is susceptible to those.
No, so maybe not necessarily the charms. I'm thinking of the ones that you would put... I guess it was runes. The ones that you
runes?
combine them, which I just combined them.
The
I think,
gray
last
little
night.
stones.
Yeah. And then the jewels. I remember the combining of the little gems
Well,
into
they
greater stuff.
get better and better. Like I said,
Yeah.
we were
The
barely
runes
halfway
were
through
the
the
same
game.
way. It's just obviously a chipped skull, and the image is shitty versus
A flawless skull.
or even a flawed skull. You can tell that
I guess
they're improving.
I guess the whole thing goes to what you were talking about, Dan. I guess I don't have to do that anymore with videos.
Well, not everyone's going to watch the video. Probably no one's going to watch the video. So
But you still don't need to point at him while you're saying it, because
you and you.
fuck off. I don't believe it. He called the shot.
What you were talking about to me the other night when I was asking about, because I've got my first socketed item, and it really did feel like you really like it was just worthless until end game shit.
Yeah.
So it just felt like a waste of space.
It depends on maybe you got stuck on an Act 2 boss and you can't beat him, so that socket might put you over the edge.
Yeah.
But like it's kind of the same mentality where you're playing like Resident Evil and you get a rocket launcher and you're like, I better save this for like the boss, and you end up never using it through the entire game because you're waiting for that point where you might need it. It could be like that with the socketed items. Usually when I would play, when I get to end game, I'll start socketing stuff.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like you can play Diablo endlessly. If you play once you beat it in the regular mode, you go to the harder mode and you get
There's a
bigger and
nightmare
better
and
stuff.
then hell.
No, because we played Diablo 3.
Yeah,
I honestly
but
don't even remember that shit in Diablo 3.
It was on there, but what I was going to say is You can play hardcore, where like if you die for good. You can play ladder, where ladder you play for like 6 months to a year, and then the ladder ends, and you can get different items playing ladder than when you're not.
Based
and it
on
ranks,
where you ranked in the ladder.
It'll rank you with everyone else who's playing. Diablo 3, I feel like fixed that or broke it, depending on how you see it, because in Diablo 3 you can take those socketed items out, so you're never losing them.
I loved that because that was always like, so my first playthrough back in the day was a necromancer, and I would always be behind my skeletons with a bow. This time I was excited to play as an Amazon because now I can finally do some real damage with my bow. I could, but without those skeletons to hide behind, I died a lot.
Let's be honest, you're excited to make Snoo Snoo.
Snoo Snoo.
Wear green, kissy man. But yeah, with the socket, it was an investment because you had to find the weapon that you wanted, and does it have enough sockets? Like the great bows could have 3, but I had a war bow with 2, and I was like, all right, I'm going to hang on to this till I get something. Ended up finding a magic war bow or battle bow. It's battle bow then war bow, and I didn't end up throwing stuff in my sockets till I got to Act 4, and I went with what I had because I had my magic bow that I got in Act 2. I had already thrown out multiple socketed weapons without any gems in them, and I had 2 runes that collectively added, I think, 112 poison damage over 6 seconds. It was two runes that did 70 poison damage over 6 seconds, and those were the most powerful things I had, and I knew that my damage had been dropping off. It was taking more and more to kill every monster as I went up, to the point that I think I died once fighting the Act 3 boss, Hephaestus. Diablo's older brother.
I didn't get to Act 3.
Mephisto.
Hephaestus the smith. And I put him in there because it's like I needed the damage, and I wasn't... The other option was grind out a few more levels and pour points into strength and maybe get a better bow. And so they're kind of like... They're an investment because once you put the gems in there, you can't take them out.
Yeah.
And so if you've been saving chipped rubies the entire game, which I did, constantly building them up,
of course,
to the point that I had 2 rubies, not flawless, not flawed, just ruby. And then I had 3 flawed and like 2 chips. The minute I put those runes in there, oh fuck, there's another chipped ruby. Now I can make not perfect, but a flawless ruby. That flawless ruby would have done like 30 fire damage, and I would have done 1 poison, 1 ruby. Because the minute you put them in there, you're 100% right. It either broke it or didn't. Because you have to make that choice that, all right, I'm going to make this weapon what it will always be and where it's going to stop. Whereas in Diablo 3, I loved that you could take the stuff out because building up your gems to where you had the perfect weapon was my favorite part.
Yeah,
and you're not going to waste them by doing it in low levels.
Let me put this flawed emerald in to get some poison damage, then I'll pull it out and merge it with a few others later.
That's right. In Diablo 3, you went to a merchant to do
it did cost money.
Yeah. A smith could pull them out. And that's in real life, a jeweler can pull the jewels out of your jewel encrusted sword you use for keeping the poor away from you.
That's not...
I thought you were going to make a joke there.
I mean, the poor are a joke.
I really thought you were going to be like a dual encrusted,
Yeah, I didn't
dildo.
think you were just going to go reach down into your soul and what you think about life.
What?
Are you saying that I did or I didn't? I was drinking beer, so I missed.
I completely missed
Are you
something
calling me
here.
a monster, or are you... Either way, you're calling me a monster. I don't know why I asked.
Man, I wish I would have caught that.
Yeah. No one ever will. So there's some dead air. While we pause wildly.
There wouldn't have been if you hadn't said that. Could have cut it. But we're going to leave that in now.
Yes.
So I did want to say one thing, and this has been like in the back of my mind. Not even the back of my mind. It's been in the front of my mind for a while now. For years and years and years, even though we haven't played this game, a thing that we've always said is like, stay a while and listen. Mm-hmm. We always talk in the Deckard Cain voice occasionally because it's funny.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about like...
Shut up and identify my shit, old man.
The reality of Deckard's life. Yes, shut up and identify my shit. No one ever talks to him. He's lonely. He's an old man. You rescued him, and then he just follows you around, tries to give you wisdom. He's like, stay a while, listen. No one ever wants to listen to him. No one wants to stay a while. They just want him to identify his items.
I loved
and that's it.
Story advanced stuff he did. That was cool.
But here's the thing. No one cares, Nate. Shut up.
Stay a while and listen.
No! Here's the thing about Deckard. If you think about him as if he was a real person, he's a guy who's hanging around. He's kind of like he wants to be your friend. You know those kinds of people, and you're just like, Mm-hmm. You're running up, and you're dumping a shit ton of items from you, going like, what is this? what is this?
Tens
What
of
is this? What is it? What is it?
thousands
What is
of
this one?
gold worth.
What is it? And he's like, it's this, and you're like, like, and you do this over and over and over, many times a night. And he's an old man. He's a lonely old man. You're a monster. You're a monster. I'm a monster.
Not only that, you're popping out of portals out of nowhere, being like fresh out of battle too.
And you just
blood all
run
over
up to him.
yourself, like, what is this old man?
What is this sword?
And
Tell me.
In my case, I'm just a giant fucking barbarian lumbering over to him. Like,
And in my personal favorite, occasionally you die and just into existence right fucking next to him. He's got to think he's going insane. Like, "Ah!"
You're like, all right, I'll see you. I'll be back
And
with some items in a bit.
You appear naked.
In some cases, it's good. In some cases, it's not.
Yeah.
Barbarian.
What class were you playing, Daniel?
Druid. I played
yeah.
a druid.
Yeah. So from you guys' perspectives, you're monsters for just torturizing. Good lord.
Territorizing.
Territorializing this old man. But I was an Amazon, so he was just happy to be around me.
I didn't
think.
have monsters. I had wolves. I had ravens or crows. I can't remember.
You had both.
I said I had wolves. I had
Corn.
ravens or crows. I can't remember which one. And like some sort of oak spirit. No monsters.
I was calling you a monster.
No,
I
I'm
was
not.
saying, in my case, he was the monster because I was the Amazon, and he was just like pursuing like a mid-20s.
Was he really
woman.
pursuing you though?
Every town I went to, he showed up there, always next to my stuff.
Shit. He's got a point, boys. He's got a point.
I went to hell to get away from him. He pursued me to the very
He
gates
was-
of hell.
He was still there.
There was a weird Catholic sort of angel there. I didn't know what was going on. I ran off and hung out with the demons.
And you played as barbarian. You played as Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. Okay. And I think that you used to play as necromancer.
Yeah, constantly.
Me too. Did
I-
you ever play as necromancer?
I've never played any. Oh no, I played as assassin.
Right. Oh, she was fun too.
Dude, assassin was the shit. I'm stupid. I should have played barbarian or assassin this
I
time.
wish I had played a necromancer. And also, I was watching some Let's Plays. I've misplayed the necromancer my entire life. I was watching this guy use Poison Nova and Corpse Explosion.
You want to drop his name, maybe?
No, I don't remember what it was.
Every time.
yeah.
We always do that.
Yeah, well,
We're sorry, nameless YouTube channel.
Whatever. Fuck off. We're going to become one of you shortly.
We already are nameless YouTube channel.
No, it's named. There's nothing on it.
I just don't remember what it is.
There is about 20-second video of me screen capping, just playing around with it. And that was not posted, that was in the editing software for all of 4 seconds before I heard that squeal you guys are always complaining about in my headset.
Yeah, you thought we were just fucking with you, didn't you?
No, I just didn't care. Because
These
I wasn't
guys.
going to buy a new headset.
Now you know our pain.
Yeah, it's
It's
squealy.
terrible. It's awful.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's not my sound card. I'm hoping my sound card works perfectly.
Your sound card works perfectly.
I don't understand. Why would it be your sound? Wouldn't you hear it through your speakers if it was your sound
I don't have
card?
speakers. I use my headset as my speakers.
Oh.
His sound card works perfectly.
Yeah. I actually don't know if I have a sound card anymore. I think I'm using the Mobo. Not important.
Well, there's a problem.
Never no problem. So
I hope my sound card that I may or may not have is working.
one of the things
Perfectly.
I want God damn it. One of the things I want to mention that you guys didn't experience, and maybe you did it when you were younger, but so
I've had sex.
in Act 4,
God damn it! I was just about to say that.
let's go back to this woman breaking into Jason's classroom, talking about his feet and him experiencing sex for the first time. And how it scarred him for life. And his only place he could be happy
I wouldn't
is
go
via
that far.
escapism in video games. I was not scarred.
Wait. Was she hot? Nice.
I hate you both so much. I don't. I love you both.
Cheers. Long distance cheers. Hey, we're quarantining. We're all like 6 feet away, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Clink,
100%,
clink, clink,
yeah.
clink.
Kind of, yeah.
So
We were ahead of the game.
when
Just throwing that out
when
there.
you're in Act 4, as you're going through, when you get near Diablo's like chamber, there's an angel just hanging out in the middle of hell.
Was it Tyrael?
No, it's another angel, and he's just standing there, and you can walk past him and he doesn't say anything. And so I did that, and I was like, because I was just wondering, why is this angel on this bridge with no demons around him? I've been fighting my way through hell, and he just goes, "Beyond me is Diablo's lair. Be careful." It's like it's the rogues when you're going into new areas, and they're like, "The
Yeah.
evil is much stronger here." But it's not just a random rogue going, something's going on. Let me click on it. It's a fucking angel just sitting in the middle of hell, like, bro,
Maybe you should do something about what's going on down here.
you know this in your side, right? Like, you don't live here. You could. It is cool design though, because the bridge is all put together. and well made, and everything else around is just ripped to shit and it's hell. But like the idea is his aura is, I guess, keeping that bridge assembled. It's right near the waypoint. But what you didn't experience here is I always wondered if that angel was judging me with how many times I died fighting Diablo. Because when I would die, I'd have to walk past him naked, like, "Don't get my corpse. You can
Hey.
throw in whenever you want, man." No. All right, cool.
Like he's just standing there tapping his foot and looking at his watch like, Jesus Christ.
The last adventurer did it faster and didn't die so much. Also, I'm fairly certain I heard crying last time.
Nate, to go on what you were saying about online, I never played. Honestly, back then, I never played online. I was a weirdo who played all those like really good Call of Duty like games.
Really good
only for
Call
the
of Duty
start.
games.
The first three.
The first one.
Okay. All right. I'm just checking.
When there were vehicles. 4 was good.
I like Modern Warfare.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Modern
I think
Warfare-
Modern Warfare is.
Modern Warfare was 4.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
exactly.
But after that, they kind of
After that, man.
just kept nuking.
Fight
over and
us.
over, Yeah.
But even then, I only played it for the story. I kind of like maybe it was probably generic. Maybe if I'd gone back right now and probably play the story, I'd be like, meh. But
Yeah.
back then, I just never cared to play online. So when we did play together that first time, God, I fucking hated it.
Oh yeah.
I hated it.
the looting system.
It wasn't
Yeah.
even that. It's just, I guess, also because maybe you guys started earlier than me too, so you're already a little bit ahead.
It's a fast-paced game, yeah.
I couldn't grasp the story enough.
Yeah.
So even though I played this game before, so I know what the fuck is going on. But this is the type of game where I want to like you said, it's a role playing game.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna play a role playing game like at breakneck
As a
fucking
square.
speeds. Yeah.
Well,
you know?
ideally, you'd play the game single player first
Yeah.
by yourself, and then once you've played it maybe once or twice through, the story doesn't matter anymore. Now you're just about the loot. You hop online and you start
I
trading.
guess.
You start playing with other people.
But we'll get to that like later on when we do our least favorites and favorites. And we agreed upon this before. That's kind of probably like my least favorite about this game.
On that note, though, that was something that we had that originally planned. We're like, oh, this is great. This is an online game. They still have servers up.
Yeah.
We can play this together. I hated it because of the loot system. In 3, gold is automatically picked up when you run over it,
Yeah.
and it gives everyone different loot.
Yeah. Basically, so
In this one, it just drops everything, and whoever picks it up first gets it.
Yeah.
So you can and it eventually just degrades into, hey, things are dropping. I'm going to stop fighting and pick up everything before everyone else, and then people start dying, or like just one person's getting all the loot. Which I'm glad they fixed.
Not to mention the like really shady shit they're pulling about like you can only if you play an online character you have to play within like a month or something like that, or
being
they'll take
Blizzard,
it
yeah.
down.
the restrictions on it.
Yeah.
I think they did that because they are probably at this point well versed with shady economies popping up around their games, and they didn't want a game. They're building games now with that knowledge, trying to prevent that from happening, or
Like-
control it,
like farming gold and WoW.
Yeah,
Does Blizzard really care if people are farming gold
No,
in
no,
a
no.
20-year-old
But
game?
there's what I'm saying. I think they did it the way it is now. Well, because they're not going to make the game so that it can stay balanced and a few people can't unbalance the game. But it's Diablo. Even when you're playing multiplayer, it's always PvE. You're never like
there is PvP, but
I didn't know that.
yeah. So if you join a PvP server, you can kill someone,
Okay.
and it'll drop their gold, and then you get a portion of their gold,
The
and then
death tax just
you-
becomes another player's gold, right?
I think it's more than that, and then you also get their ear. You pick up their ear, and then now they have a bounty on you, and if they kill you, they get all their gold back plus some of yours. I found that out the hard way when I was a kid playing online. But the thing about it makes no sense. It's not a persistent world.
Yeah.
You join a server, you leave it, it's gone forever.
Yeah.
So there's no economy, so to speak
yeah.
of. The only
Exactly,
economy
yeah.
would be the trading economy,
What you
where
can keep in your chest and yeah, exactly.
I have these rare or unique items and I want to trade these, which in the day it was a big thing.
Yeah.
I remember one time when I was playing as a kid, I was playing as a sorceress, and there was this set, like the set pieces you get where they add different.
Love those,
They
yeah.
add more perks as you get more of the pieces of the set, and it was called the Angelic Raiment, and I wanted it really bad. It was a really good set, and I had like 2 pieces, and there was like a ring and a circlet and something else that I needed. So I went to the trading channel. I'd never traded before in any kind of game, and I was like, hey, I'm looking for Angelic Raiment. Does anyone have it? And this guy was like, I've got it. I was like, cool. And he was like, join my server. And in the trading system, it's kind of like a very, very early version, if you remember WoW's trading system.
Of course, yeah.
You put the items up there. People can see what they are. You hit green, and then the other person hit greens, and it counts down from like 5 to 1.
World of Warcraft. We've
World
been saying,
of Warcraft.
Yeah, we have.
I assume that people who are listening to a gaming podcast know what WoW is.
ShamWow?
ShamWow.
Oops.
Vince. So it was different in this one, and the reason they had the 5-second countdown in this one is because you could do what I did. This guy, there was an exploit in Diablo 2 where you had to do a certain thing. You go to a certain place in the map, and you hit a certain amount of buttons, and whatever item you had like equipped would get duplicated in your inventory. So people took advantage of that, and they would get the unique items, make crazy copies of them, and then trade them away for stuff that they really wanted. So he had like 5 different pieces of every part of the angelic raiment set that I wanted, and he showed me all of these, and I was like, this guy cheated to get these. So like, why am I even trading with him? He didn't, and he was like, well, show me what you got. And I was about to like start putting things in my inventory to show him what I had. Like, what the hell am I going to trade this guy? And he hit green. He hit trade. So I really quickly hit trade too, and I got all his stuff that he had in there. And he was like, what? And I left the server. I was like, yes! I didn't need all these, but man, fuck you.
And his eventual economic destruction led to Chinese gold farming. Daniel caused it.
Hey, you're looking at him right here.
I don't know, man. This game, like, it's like freaking pure. What's that called?
Ecstasy.
Nah, like
sexual pleasure.
the stuff that. Oh my god, I'm completely freezing. What's the show on Netflix?
Yeah, that one
With 11 or 7 in it.
Stranger Things.
Yeah, nostalgia. It's nostalgia. This game is entirely nostalgia. Playing it today, it's like
It's still good. It still holds up, though.
yeah.
The mechanics are all still there.
Yeah, it still works. It's
There's just those creature comfort luxury things that we're missing. Like, you run over gold, you automatically pick it up because you're going to pick it up anyway.
Yeah.
So why make people click it?
I remember is it WoW when you're in a group? If I pick the gold up out of a corpse, there's 6 gold in a corpse.
It splits.
It splits. Yeah.
So these were all new concepts.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
the reason WoW has those is because people who played Diablo were like, this would be nice since we're all playing together. Why should one person get the gold?
Yeah.
Why isn't there not a countdown on the trade?
Yeah,
like,
it definitely
stuff like
came
that.
across as like the early stages of World of Warcraft.
Yeah, I mean, I think they definitely took their
knowledge of it.
knowledge of like what pisses people off about RPGs and what people like about RPGs.
Speaking of pissing people off, let's talk about Blizzard.
Yes.
I like that segue. I don't know. That's just me. Blizzard now I know is under some fire for some different things. I've only really kept up with like one thing they've done recently, but back in the day, Blizzard was going kind of into what Jason was saying about storyline. They were storyline, which was what drove games, especially if you just sat at home and played alone as a little fat 14-year-old you were.
And cutscenes.
The cutscenes.
Yeah,
They're still good at cutscenes.
But the cutscenes
Yeah.
drove the story. Those cutscenes in Diablo 2, the cutscenes in Warcraft 2, the cutscenes in StarCraft, the exposition before the missions in StarCraft and Warcraft 2, like that made those games.
Say what you will, even now, like that.
Oh my
one,
god, those
like,
cutscenes now.
For the Horde,
Oh,
Sylvanas.
baby.
Yeah, that was a good one. That made me want to play again, and then I immediately didn't.
That shit makes my dick hard. Every single time she goes into the Banshee form.
Yeah.
They still have that.
The newest
but
WoW
they used
doesn't.
to be the Everyman's gaming company.
And
They
they-
used
well,
to be like the gamers gaming
their
company.
stories were it was the 90s and the early 2000s. Story was the big draw on a game. It was the difference between it's okay and oh my god, you've got to try this fucking game. And like Diablo, StarCraft, Warcraft, Command and Conquer to an extent, they had the same problem where like for me
Personally,
like, all right, I got a storyline clip going into this mission. Now it's a 2.5 hour mission I have to beat to get my next little bit of crack cocaine. In apparently I don't know I don't know how to consume crack. You wiggle it in front of your eye.
I think you insert it.
This
rectally.
narc.
Now you kiddos know where the druggos are. But
There's huffing that grass.
that and so like literally going into the end of Act 2, the end of Act 1 not as much, but the end of Act 3 heavily was like I just need to get. I don't care how many times I die. I don't care what I have to do. I just need to beat it so I can watch 2 minutes of this is why I'm here watching this game. That those advanced that like when you completed the bigger quests and Deckard would ramble on and you'd have to stay a while and listen, the
Callbacks.
the storyline that he would give you was really cool, and like the little bits of story and the townsfolk that you had to kill and take the story out of the. No, not that.
Hi, I'm Charcy.
But the little bits of story that were populated in the world that you didn't have to find to advance the game. Like, that shit was awesome. And the first time I played through it, I found all those. This time I didn't, because I was like, I got to beat it for the podcast. And it wasn't until like Act 3 I got bored. It was right when I got to Act 3. I wasn't going to play anymore, but I had another like 30 minutes. I walked around and talked to everybody, and I was looking up stuff about Karast. And there's literally like people's dialogue changes. So like I think it's one of the people in town, if you talk to somebody else first who's got like a negative image, I think it's like the Smith has a negative image of the little coot in the you guys didn't get to Act 3. Two of the characters
We've been there
I've been
before.
doing because I do that every time I play.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that, like, even like in the beginning, what was it, rogue
encampment.
yeah.
Which
Yeah.
just reading while we were doing some research, I didn't realize that the rogues, their rival group is the home group of the Amazon. I just thought they were all being bitchy to me. I was like, oh, what, a hot woman comes in town, so the rogues have to be pissed at me. Oh. The Amazon is of an Amazon tribe whose rival tribe is the rogues. It's like, I just thought they were all being pissed at me for no reason in Act 1.
When you waltzed into town where they all like gathered up and snapping, just being like, I'm not gonna snap because, microphone in front of me, but yeah.
Snap away from
Nate'll fucking do it.
I thought you were going to pause it and just like, stop doing that.
Stop fucking snapping.
Don't snap. But like the storyline is what drove this, and it to the point that like the loot system, the gameplay, all of it combined, everything was good. But if you took the story away, this is a click fest, and like there were times when it was just
it
like
would be boring as tits.
yeah. Oh my god,
I could never be able to like grind this game
Yeah,
without the story.
I disagree with both of you guys.
yeah.
I would.
I like the story a lot, but I'm fine without it. Like, I think acquiring the loot and looking for that next best piece of armor, that next gem that you need, or the next best, weapon is more driving for me than any of the story. The story is like, it's fairly genetic, my god. Generic.
You can see its parents coming through in it.
It's fairly generic and like at this point overdone. There's nothing special about it. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, demons are coming in, you're the hero, go and save them. The cutscenes were great. For their time, they were like, I guess, pretty graphically impressive. But I really don't care about the story. I just like the actual gameplay.
The story itself is very generic, but like the world building they put into that, like the rogues being pissed at me not even knowing why, because I'm from a rival tribe and not knowing it. The Charcy, the blacksmith and the rogues as a whole have good relations with the barbarians. So if you play as a barbarian, you get a discount all throughout town, and everyone's like, "Hey, how you doing?"
Yeah.
I always just thought it was because you were like a 6'4", hugely muscular dude in a town of ladies.
Exactly.
But, yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I wasn't saying that the only thing that was driving me in this game was the story.
Yeah.
No, I know that.
But like, I do get that. Like, the biggest drive I remember, like when you go on or when you start the game, you load, you see your character with your new shit on it. And you're just like, yeah, it doesn't look exactly the same as he was before. And I do like that. But at the end of the day, I still was cognizant of just being like, click.
Yeah, click.
See, I think that's another thing they fixed in 3 too, is now you have
Diablo
multiple
32.
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
multiple skills
Yes.
on your number pad, so that you could only use 4 at a time. I think it was.
Yeah.
You could
Four,
turn that
yeah.
off.
With-
It was a menu setting. You could have the WoW style.
You could not. You still had to pick one from each tree.
Yes, but you could have them all up. I remember because I
Right.
had them all up, and I was like, I can use them all, and you cannot.
You had to
Yeah.
pick them, which adds another layer of complexity. But it adds in 2, you have your normal attack and then like a special attack or a summon or whatever you have. I think they definitely made it better. Now.
Yeah,
So you're
I would
not
say,
just-
yeah.
If you use W,
W.
If you use W, you can switch to your alternate weapon set, which also changes your skills. So you can, in effect, have 3 skills queued up plus generic attack if you're down to pound W a bunch to
Gotta pound
Shut
that W.
up.
Listen, he's retired. He's tired. Stop pounding George W. Bush.
I will when Dick Cheney does.
We're in Florida. What about Jeb?
What about Jeb?
He can speak Spanish.
Little
Can he?
Rubio. Yeah, he can. He's fluent. Bilingual.
Okay. Am I supposed to like him now? Is it because I'm brown?
All right, let me bring it back to video games.
I was trying to low-key diffuse your racism, thinking that white people only speak English.
¿Qué?
He's from Texas.
Con queso.
Those white people speak Spanish.
You know how those white people are.
Any Texans out there? Do you guys speak Spanish? Let me know.
I really want us to get an email that just says, "Gah."
Con
Everything's
queso?
bigger in Texas, including their backwards question marks.
Upside down question
And
marks.
backwards.
And backwards.
Really, they're actually not upside down or backwards. They've been rotated 180 degrees.
Oh,
That
man.
wasn't funny.
That reminds me of that shitty like internet joke about the 360 being so bad, like you put the controller down, and you turn 360 degrees and like leave or some shit. It was so stupid. It didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Where like it's supposed to be 180, but they're supposed to be saying like the joke was that
Oh,
because you turn 360, or why is the Xbox so bad because you turn 360 degrees and leave or some shit like that.
Those PS4 fanboys who don't know fucking basic geometry.
Yeah.
That's the same thing. People say, "Oh, he did a complete 360." It's like, so he's right where he started.
But
Excellent.
back to Jeb Bush. You remember when in Tony Hawk, I want to say Underground 1 or 2.
Back to Jeb Bush.
A list of sayings that have not been said for many years. Now back to Jeb Bush.
I swear it's about video games.
Wolf.
You remember like I don't know if he's ended up just suing, but like Tony Hawk that video game franchise got in trouble because one of them took place in Tampa and you had to like spray paint his like campaign things.
Yeah, and you
Remember
could
that?
skate inside of 2001, the strip club.
Exactly,
Inside
yeah.
the alien, the spaceship. Fuck yeah. They sued?
Yeah, because I guess it said Jeb, but they had to change it to Jed. Which is
Yeah, well, that worked
Next-
out great for him, didn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, maybe that's what sank his campaign.
Oh,
Maybe that's
that's
why he
definitely
lost.
what it was. Yeah.
People who played Tony Hawk were going to vote fucking Republican anyway.
Not
or
the
at
fact
all.
that he was as charismatic as a piece of wood. Oh, nice.
Everybody should vote. Unless
Yes.
you're Republican, don't vote then.
Wait, what?
Huh?
Don't vote for Jeb. That's literally a wasted vote.
Imagine if he came back.
whomever you are.
Wait,
do
didn't he,
your part.
Didn't he run in like 2016?
Yeah,
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Yeah, like it was him and Rubio. Literally, it was him
Yeah,
and
Marco
Rubio
Rubio, yeah.
Trump like built his campaign on just making fun of them, like a 4-year-old on stage.
Easy enough.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
just bullied
yeah.
them off of the fucking
Yeah.
thing, off of the ticket.
Remember when Jeb Bush played Diablo 2? Me either. That was crazy, right?
He probably did.
like,
He looks like a fucking nerd.
He didn't play Diablo 2. He's too busy practicing his Spanish.
He was definitely a nerd. He probably, I don't know,
He looks like a nerd. He looks like he has that like punchable face.
but he might be one of those nerds that's like, I'm gonna go home and read the Bible. Like, oh no, please don't.
I doubt it. His brother did coke.
What?
Yeah.
I was going to start talking about a movie. I'm going to do it. Have you guys... I know that you haven't already asked you. Did you see the movie with Christian Bale playing Dick Cheney?
No, I wanted to.
W.
I think it was just called Cheney.
I think it was just called
okay.
Cheney.
Yeah, you should. It's really funny.
Yeah. Funny? Is it supposed to be funny?
Yeah, it's kind of like a dark comedy, like
Oh.
slash documentary,
Okay.
slash dramatization. It was really weird, but it was good.
Okay. Yeah.
There
I actually
you go.
really
hot,
want to.
hot take from the Command Center boys.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Go see that movie.
So Blizzard.
Blizzard.
Yeah,
I
Blizzard.
know that Jay has been chomping at the bit to talk about the decline of Blizzard, who used to be every gamer's favorite developer because they understood gamers. I think they used to be gamers.
Because of their
Hell yeah,
storyline
dude.
and their world building and their gameplay and how great they were.
Yeah, and they created all the worlds that are still around today: StarCraft, Warcraft, Diablo, Overwatch,
The Earth.
See,
Earth.
the thing is, I think that's where they started. Oh, there we go. Overwatch is where they started to do their downfall. That's where all the money came in and went to their fucking head.
I think
No,
wow.
no.
Wow.
WoW
is
was
where
where
all
they
the money
started to
came
go
in
down.
and started.
I don't know because
Overwatch is a resounding success. It's huge. People love it.
That's what I'm saying.
But they started to go down during WoW.
Yeah,
Remember Pandaland?
Okay,
Remember how
if you
WoW
wanna
was...
go
Oh, you mean
specifically
Pandaria?
Pandaland, yeah.
The amazing and best part of the world of Warcraft.
That's where it started.
I guess. I guess. But I guess then the personification was Overwatch. I mean, not to like, I mean, fucking Overwatch is huge and many people play that game. Just not my cup of tea.
It's not my cup of tea either, but there's nothing wrong with it. It's a great game for what it is.
Yeah, but then they started, I don't know, man. They started seeing that as priority. And then the whole idea about Diablo, everybody's chopping at the bit for Diablo game. Everybody was waiting for them to announce something about Diablo. And then they're like, Diablo, for your phone.
Yeah, no, I remember that.
Yeah, like
But that had nothing to do with Overwatch, is what I mean. That was so terrible. Well, you guys don't have phones? They were getting booed and shit?
Yeah.
It was awful. But I think they did a great job with Overwatch. Overwatch is objectively a good game, even though I don't like it. I know that you don't like it. I don't think Nate's ever played it.
No, I'm not.
I think that Overwatch, I don't know why you're on Overwatch. Overwatch, I feel like it's separate. I think that they really started fucking up when they got into the later WoW expansions, and they started making WoW not anywhere near free to play, but it was kind of...
they made it easier.
They made it way too easy. They're trying to get in... Well, I get it from a business standpoint. They had like 13 million players, and people started dropping off, so you have to make it easier because you had to get those new kids in who don't want to have to grind through.
No, I liked that when they actually made the game like faster and more fun to play. I didn't have 27 hours a night to put into the game and just grind up. That's when I started playing. Is when they drove it back. So I mean,
you played back in the day as well.
Yeah, for like 4 days, and was like, I'm done with this.
That's absolute horseshit. We used to play all the time.
That was Cow in Danger Patrol.
That was after they dropped the
No, they made it way easier.
They made it way
Go
easier.
Cows was after they dropped it. Reginald, when I used to because I would stop. The game was
Nate, when's the last time you played?
it was probably Go Cows.
Okay, I'm saying since then.
Oh, they made it even easier.
Yes!
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like
I'm sorry.
even-
Well, these are very similar to the arguments Tom and Jake had when they dropped the mount requirement down to 20, and
20,
they doubled up your XP to your first 20 levels, trying to get you into these features of the game, and they're like, they made it so easy. There's no reason to get. And it's like, yeah, but they also lowered the barrier to entry to get to end game,
The
which
mount
was
thing
where
made
the game
sense.
was.
So like I was
Yeah.
mad when that happened because like, oh man, I fucking grinded and
Yeah.
worked for my
Yeah.
mount. But like everything they've done since then that's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It's absolutely nothing. So like I get where you're coming from, but
Yeah.
you stopped playing before they went way
True.
off
I
of
know
the off of the reservation.
I think the last thing I played was Cataclysm. That was the
I
last
have
expansion.
played. I've played during all of the expansions. I haven't finished all the expansions because I always like the cutscenes draw me in, and I'm like, fuck yeah, the story is so good. And then I get in, I'm like, I don't even know this game anymore. Like I don't know what to do. There's so many different mechanics, and it's so easy. It's not fun to me. But I think that's when it started. And they made Heroes of the Storm, which was a League of Legends ripoff, which I tried to play. And I'm already bad at MOBAs, I'll admit that. But it was one of the most toxic player bases I've ever encountered. I played for a couple of hours, and every single time I came into a lobby, which was supposed to be all beginners, they were all so angry at me for not knowing what I was doing in beginners lobbies.
So the thing about that, it was supposed to be like a clone of Dota, but shouldn't they have already owned Dota?
Dota was a mod
Yeah,
of
it was a
Warcraft
Defense of the
3,
Ancients
and then
was the
League
mod.
of Legends grew out of Dota, which is also a mod, and then it became its own game.
Because if I remember
But
correctly,
then League of Legends became like the biggest game ever, and they didn't want to be like, well, here's Dota, because people have already gotten out of Dota, so they made a new one called Heroes of the Storm, which wasn't just Warcraft, it was all the Blizzard characters and all the Blizzard worlds put together and in a League of Legends kind of style game. But
Okay, but
it
Dota is still going strong separately.
could be. I don't know. I don't play
If I
MOBAs.
remember correctly, if I remember correctly, I think that because Dota was a mod, but the community that was around it wasn't one guy making a mod. It was a ferocious community that really built that game up. And Blizzard tried to kind of co-opt it because it was based on Warcraft 3, and they had patented the name Dota, Defense of the Ancients, which is why it became
Defenders of the Alliance.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I thought it was Defense of the Ancients because you have
No,
to
it's
defend the
Defenders of the
Ancients.
Alliance.
I think you're wrong, Tom.
No, it's 100% Defenders of the Alliance.
I don't think it is.
Okay, but it
I
is.
think
That's
you're
very,
wrong.
very well known.
All
We
right.
can easily.
I could, but I'm not
Check
gonna because
that.
I won't give him the satisfaction. I got it from Tom, and I trust him. Whether or not I'm wrong, he's my trump. But if I remember correctly, they had patented the name, and Blizzard was like, "Yeah, we're gonna do a Dota," and they're like, "No, you're not." And so they had to name it League of Legends, right? Because the mod community was like, "No, you can't take this. We created this. It's ours." Even though, but I'm not certain that's right.
I watched a documentary about, I think it was called Riot Games, who make League of Legends. They never mentioned anything about that. It
Okay.
could be a thing, but it might have been like a legal thing. I have no idea. But yeah, basically Blizzard created by proxy the MOBA, which is the biggest game now, at least as far as player base and esports and that goes.
Yeah, esports is a big one, which I don't.
yeah.
That's one of the ones. Like I can understand Rocket League because that's like more like an actual sport.
Well, Rocket League is more, I think, popular with people who like, traditional
sports, yeah,
sports.
'cause it's action.
But for gamers who are into esports, the original was League of Legends. It's harder to draw people who aren't gamers into watching League of Legends. But fuck, there's a lot of us. I think that Rocket League is going to only grow from here on out as far as esports go.
Especially, I mean, like, I know we were talking, I don't think we talked to you about it, since very exciting Rocket League was on ESPN.
Yeah, that was sick.
I'm wondering how the ratings were and how many people actually, like, watched it.
Yeah, I want to see those numbers come out, too.
I'd be really interested to see that.
Let's hold on to that, because I do want to talk about that. But talking about the downfall, I think it's when Activision came in, or when Activision took over Blizzard's parent company. I mean, not to shit on Activision. They make some of my favorite games. Like, they're responsible for Battlezone way back in the day, and the Total War series is Activision, right? But they are second to EA in monetize. Fuck what built this. Fuck your gamer culture. Fuck you. Give us your fucking money. And like they're just the second fiddle to the big fiddle of EA, which both of them have just put out streams of shit over the years, trying whatever they could to further monetize.
I think it's two branches of the same tree that they went off different, ways with.
Yeah.
I think EA was more like, everyone loves Call of Duty. They're going to buy it no matter what, so we're just going to shit out as many as we can, and we're going to make you buy loot boxes.
It worked with Madden, let's keep doing it.
Because kids are going to keep on buying them, and they're using disposable income from their parents, and they don't care. I think that where Blizzard fucked up is that they became so loved and so popular, and they had so many good titles that they thought they could do no wrong, and that no matter what they made, people would buy and love. So when, like you said, when they said, hey, don't you guys love Diablo? And everyone was like, fuck yeah, Diablo 4. They're like, Diablo 3 on your phone. And everyone started booing. They're like, what? You don't have phones? And it's like, they were just very patronizing.
Yeah.
And it's like, listen, we love you, Blizzard, but we're not idiots.
But that's, I think they're kind of one and the same in that they got so big that they couldn't admit, oh, we were fucked up, we were wrong, my bad. Like, and they'd never, like, because there's been smaller studios that are like, we're openly apologize about this, we're still servicing our game.
Oh,
but then they also have that shady shit about China.
There was something. Did you ever research?
So
that?
it was some.
Well,
was that? I think it was a League of Legends.
No, it was the Hong Kong protests were like in their full swing, and everyone was up in arms about it, especially Reddit and on online platforms. And I think her name is May from Overwatch, is a Chinese character in the game, and she's supposed to be from Hong Kong, I think, and she became kind of like an unofficial mascot for the Hong Kong protests.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And China wanted Blizzard to get rid of her in the game, and Blizzard was like, we're never going to do that, this and that. But then they also disqualified a team. Or either it was a whole team or...
Right? No, it was just one dude.
It was Overwatch. It was one guy who had tweeted something about...
He didn't tweet. He said it like live on...
Either way, they ended up banning him. And
they took his money too. They took his prize money.
His winning money. And everyone was like, Blizzard, what the fuck, man? Yeah. But they have to cater to the Chinese market because a fuck ton of Chinese play their game.
That's why Pandaren was even like...
It's so crazy because, wow, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
I did not even think... Because, it's funny, the only thing I thought of was like, it's probably because of that fucking Jack Black panda fucking movie.
I think it was a combination. I think it was really a
combination. Let's be clear. We don't think there exists a Jack Black panda fucking movie. He just meant...
If there is, I want to see
Kung Fu Panda, Jack Black, the
baby.
panda fucking movie. So,
hold on for 1 second. But yeah, that makes sense. But it really opened your eyes to even beyond gaming to movies, how much they cater to China. Like, I mean, not to get so political right now, but like it just it really opened my eyes to the whole thing with fucking Doctor Strange. Mm-hmm. And the whitewashing that was going on, Ghost in the Shell. Jesus.
I think that what that was if not the first time, one of the most public times that gamers saw one of their most beloved companies doing that kind of quote unquote shady shit, where it's like, all right, we love you, make the games that we love, and we thought that you were the paragon of gamers, but you're still a corporation, and you're still going to bow down to the bottom line.
Yeah, because we already know
you
what
die
EA
a hero
is.
or you live long enough to become the villain.
There you
exactly.
go.
Like Ensemble, bought by Microsoft. Eidos, bought by somebody else. All those little heroic little studios, Blizzard never got bought. Blizzard managed to make enough money to stand on its own until they became... The original staff weren't there anymore. And everyone who was there is, let's make this company bigger.
I will say, though, I mean, for better or worse, and I hope for better, they're going to survive it all. They already survived the Hong Kong thing, which I thought was going to like really fuck with them. But us gamers are a fickle bunch.
Oh, yeah.
And
So we're a
if
self-hating group. Yeah.
If you make a excellent goddamn game,
What's on the horizon
we
for them, though?
Diablo 4, who knows what they're doing with WoW. I mean, they're historically pretty in the dark about what they're developing until they're well into it and try to keep that under wraps. Like they're still, I think they never do release dates. They never put times on, at least
They save it for BlizzCon, I think, right?
Public times when
Yeah.
they're supposed to
because
put things out.
they recognize and one of their trademarks has always been polish. And
Yeah.
they'll take more time and polish the game. And one of the things they have on the horizon is this statement right here. This never happens.
Oh, I thought you were gonna fart.
No,
Damn.
no. That's Dota. That's Dota's Wikipedia page.
No.
Defense of the Ancients.
Wow, yeah.
I'm never right, man. You always catch me saying some
Can-
stupid shit where I'm wrong.
Can you Google?
I did Google Dota and it brought up the Dota 2 Wikipedia page. And
Just
it says,
do me a favor and Google Defenders of the Alliance.
Okay, I'm sure it is a thing, but I was like, Tom played a shit ton of
Because
Dota.
I'm supremely confused.
When you were arguing, there was like, that's a well-known. Wait, but
If
you said it's
anyone wants to chime in on this, who's right? Defense of the Ancients or Defender of the Alliance? Regardless of what Nate finds on YouTube.
when I googled Defenders of the
Wikipedia.
Alliance, the number one link is www.oceandefenders.org.
Holy shit.
Best Alliance War Defense 2019. Wait,
Well,
and it's a Marvel video. You said it with such confidence. Stop doing that.
My mind is blown.
Hey man, what was the pantalones cortes in Spanish? It means shorts. My dumbass heard it and was like, oh, the pants of Cortez. Clearly, Cortez went to Mexico and was like, it's hot. Cut his pants off, went back to Spain. Everyone's like, ooh, look at Cortez. Look at his pants.
Los pantalones de Cortez.
And I said that for 6 years before you asked me, are you saying the pants of Cortez?
Yes. Yes, I am.
Well, now I got it just as bad on you with Dota.
All right, fair enough. Dude, I'm like having existential crisis. I feel
I know,
like
because when you said, no, it's a well-known thing, I felt the same way. I was like, I've spent like 20 years thinking it was Defense of the Ancients.
I feel like maybe the timeline has split. We already know the timeline split.
Did you see
I think it's split again.
that black cat that's outside your house? Have you seen it twice?
That's the one
very
that's
rapidly?
on the roof.
Yeah.
And yes, we have.
Yeah.
I
There's
altered
like
the Matrix.
2 or 3 of those motherfuckers
I
out
altered
there.
the Matrix. Yeah.
All right, so I want to hear favorite, least favorite parts of this game. Nate, hit us.
My favorite part of this game is the same as my least favorite part. My favorite part of this game was collecting the gems, and this goes back to my first playthrough, and again now, just going and collecting all these little bits, these chip skulls, these single gems that are complete trash individually, holding them until I've got my Herodric cube, combining them together, making a larger one, burping mid-sentence, excuse me, and then making this beautiful, usually right in Act 4, putting all these gems into a bow to make a badass bow. I wasn't able to do it this time. I don't know, and I got a little angry when I was in Act 4. It was a little late, but I was thinking that maybe the gem drop rate now included the jewels and the runes, because I felt like gems used to drop more frequently. Like my
Yeah,
chest was
same.
always filled with, so like gem is still a 1% drop rate, but now it's gem, jewel, or rune, which kind of aggravates me. But I did start combining runes. Those shits get really powerful really quick, but there's no visual moniker. The runes all look the same with just a different symbol on them, which I didn't know the symbols. But watching, like, seeing the chipped skull in Act 1 that I had in my inventory, then another one, then in Act 2, I've got a flawed skull, and watching it slowly grow until I've got that perfect skull, throwing it in a helmet and being like, fuck you, Diablo, I'm regenerating health as fast as you can deal it out. That was my favorite part of the game, like creating not just unique items that were RNG and random combinations of features or the pre-made sets and collecting that. No, the gems where somebody probably has this combination of gems in this bow, but nobody has the story that I created in the search for these gems to make it. Least favorite, I was talking to Jason about it. Story's great, gameplay's great, loot system's great. This game is like 50% fucking grind. And I don't like it. I do not like grinding. And like you're talking about, oh, I gotta search for this new item. You never know when you're gonna get it. You never know what, and you can work for hours.
You know,
and
life is like a box of chocolates.
Nothing. And like when the guy from Blizzard, or the team, a few of them, who made the loot system, was one of the founding members of was part of the team that made. I'm wearing a mask. I'm shooting myself in the head. I'm not shirted. I'm
Borderlands?
Borderlands.
Yeah.
And he helped bring that loot system to Borderlands, which got me kind of excited. And then I read about it and remembered it and went, I don't ever want to do that again. I loved that loot system. It was the first time I'd ever seen it. It was awesome. And it pissed me off because you're at the mercy of the RNG. But I loved that in the gyms and other stuff. And I hated it because you couldn't, like, I really thought about going back and killing Endoriel over and over again because she's, I think, guaranteed to drop a gem. And it seemed like nobody in Act 4 was dropping gems. And I really genuinely thought about just going back to Act 1 multiple times to kill Duriel, then back to Act 2, or Act 2 for Duriel, back Act 1 to Endoriel, because they both are guaranteed to drop a normal quality gem. So I could get some gems to play my favorite part of the game.
Word. Jay?
Words.
Too many words. Oh, I didn't time myself that time. Sorry, guys.
We can tell.
Well, since Nate said all of that and pretty much most of what I was going to say, I guess I'll just equate it to I'm very conflicted because I know the heights of the grind. While I don't necessarily like it myself, I know like where it can get you, which isn't necessarily in this game, obviously, because this is like exactly a 20-year-old game.
Yeah.
And I don't think, obviously you didn't, but I don't think you have where you cap yourself out in World of Warcraft and you go on raids. And
There's no raids now.
Yes.
no. I'm not saying that there's no raids in Diablo. I'm saying in WoW general, like when you actually played WoW, you know, like you got to, like, let's say, Burning Crusade, you got to 70, but did you ever like actually stay in 70 and do all the shit that you can, like all the
do in-game mining for loot, mining for that one item?
I did do that, and probably mostly I didn't do it much in Burning Crusade, but I did it mostly in Wrath of Lich King. That's what it was after.
Yep.
BC was supposed to be when it was at its height, though. But still, go ahead.
No, I mean,
anyways, they kept expanding.
Yeah.
That,
And that's basically that's the height. I mean, it's Blizzard, so that's the height of the grind. And I don't know, something about being in a 25-man like party and going through all of these bosses and having to do intricate and specific things that are not necessarily just clicking. Because like even in like it, honestly, there's parts that you have to like jump and like do other like actually intricate things that aren't necessarily in WoW normally. Right. And then the kick-ass fucking loot you would get off of it. And then to go on to the loot system of the everybody, all right, something rare drops, everybody throw their roll.
Yeah.
And then you have to need or greed.
In more organized guilds, literally collecting DKP and having to have a bid system, an auction system within your team.
Exactly.
I've always wanted to do that. I just never got there. Yeah.
So this to me, while that was obviously Diablo 2 is the lowest of it, I can appreciate it because I remember now
where it came
where
from.
it all led up to the heights of what Blizzard was.
So like Diablo 2 was
for
like
me
dipping
to
the
me.
toe, and then WoW was diving the straight in and like doing it to the max.
Exactly. Yeah. And then there's where I can see the appeal.
Diablo 2 was a steam-powered horseless carriage, and WoW was a fucking sports car or a truck or whatever your ideal car is. Smart car for me.
I thought you were going to say a steam-powered horse's carriage.
A steam-powered horse. It's a very dead horse.
And your least favorite?
That was a combination of both, pretty much.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
like the favorite was that you got to see where it came from, and least was that it wasn't what you were not necessarily used to, but what it could be.
Exactly.
You've seen the height, and now you don't want to go back to that steam-powered
Exactly.
horse.
I mean, like I said, the story is what put me through, and then I still had that little like twinkle of like, I kind of want to see what cool shit I can get. But especially how I was kind of really disappointed with the online. I thought it would be a little bit more
There's
like
zero-
how WoW was.
There's zero organization. It's small
Exactly,
population.
yeah.
I agree.
They could go. They're not going to, but they could go back and put
I
in
wish,
those
dude.
little
Tweak,
those little things from Diablo 3 that they switched.
So maybe
to.
we can do this in another podcast because I don't know how long this is lasting right now. But I would like I forget where I saw this. It was probably in a What Culture video. But what game you would want them to because there's a lot of remasters, like true remasters where they're actually like building it from the ground, Resident Evil, Final Fantasy, and all that. What game would you choose to be remastered in that type of way? I think I would put Diablo up in that.
Yeah.
I would love to hear what you guys have to say about that. If anyone has ideas of what game you want to see remastered from the ground up, let us know. Hit us up at commandcenterpodcast@gmail.com. Get us on our Instagram, Facebook, soon to be YouTube. Let us know. I would love to hear that.
And since we're going to be on YouTube, I did not come up with this idea. This was on What Culture First. Sorry.
What, the idea of having a woman break into your class, compliment your feet, and rape you when you were 16? We know it wasn't your idea, Jason. It's okay to cry.
So it was my ideal.
My favorite has to definitely be the feeling when you are going through that grind and you're playing through the game and you're going through these acts, and a lot of times I didn't even feel like playing anymore, but I was just doing it because I had to.
It was an obligation.
But I liked when you kill something, even like especially when it was something low level. You kill like a bat and you see that green or orange glow, and you're like, holy shit. First off, how is this bat carrying a great sword? Second off, what is this?
Yeah.
And I think that is like so exciting. And then you get that crushing realization that it's a weapon you can't use.
Yep.
Or
Those grotesque noises, too. I forgot to add that. I'm sorry. Grotesque noises was my least favorite.
What on earth was a pygmy with a hatchet doing with 2 quivers of arrows? Thank God he had them.
Yeah, but that always felt really satisfying when you finally find something worth finding, instead of like filling up with magic items and yeeting off back to town to yell at Deckard Cain and then go back out.
Shut up and identify my shit, old man.
My least favorite, definitely the multiplayer, which we only did for that one day. But that isn't really an aspect of the game. That's just more of the way they made that part of the game. Least favorite for the single player. Man, it's hard because I have memories of playing it when I was a kid, and I couldn't find anything wrong with the game. But looking at it back now, it feels kind of shitty to be like, I don't like this because I've played games that are better.
Yeah.
But at the time they were good. It has to also be the grind, like you were kind of saying, Jay, because it is tiring, and I don't know if at the level the game is at now. At the time, it was fine. Now looking back, you don't get enough stuff for how much grind there is.
Mm-hmm.
There's not enough items that you could use for all the bullshit you get.
Yeah, I like that.
Me too.
Yeah, it's weird that all of our least favorite, most favorites were kind of the same thing. The grind is the best part and the worst part in existence.
Yeah.
Also, for the record, next month, if we're playing a multiplayer game, and on the 5th, perhaps, right, you guys both decide you hate the multiplayer, and I'm like, hey, I'm starting a new character on multiplayer for when you guys want to play again, and I have to keep waiting 10 to 12 minutes to start an online server to play by myself alone in a multiplayer server. You guys can tell me you hate the multiplayer so I don't have to keep playing online alone, waiting 4 to 5 minutes to build a server every night.
Nah.
Just an FYI, you bitches, but it's glad to know now.
Nah, it's okay.
Nah, brah. Nah, no can't.
We'll just do the Dead Island thing.
All right, guys, I think it's time for our big announcement. What do you think?
Nah.
No? Yeah. All right, well, fuck it. All right, bye, guys. No, we have a big announcement. We're going to be moving to a bi-monthly format, so you get to hear twice as much as us. Oh, not really twice as much.
The mid-month is going to be a shorty. Stuff we usually would ramble on about, making our episodes an hour and a half long at times, and just general stuff we're doing in gaming. Thank you for the salutes, gentlemen.
Oh, they can finally see the salutes.
Yeah, they can see the salutes, so I don't have to just seem like a crazy person anymore. Oh,
okay.
God.
Yeah, well, there it is.
Yeah.
Limp Bizkit.
We are not posting this one on the YouTube. But it's going to be just kind of like a gaming, what's going on in gaming, and stuff we found in research that we didn't need or didn't have any use for, and what the hell we're doing in our lives and our gaming. And if I keep talking loud enough, you can't hear that dog barking in the background. Lucy!
There's Lucy. Yeah, it's going to be coming out mid-month on the 15th of every month.
Which, if we stick to it like we're sticking to the current release dates...
Yeah, it'll be whenever.
Yeah.
It'll be whenever. But ideally, it's going to be coming out on the 15th. It's going to be all the extra stuff that we didn't have time to throw into our monthly one. It's not going to be the book club kind of. We're not going to have any homework for you, no games to play. It's just going to be what we happen to be playing besides what we're supposed to be playing, which happens more than I care to admit. And it should be good. So it's going to be on the same channel. You don't have to subscribe to anything else. Give it a listen. If you hate it, let us know, and we'll stop because it's less work for me. And if you love it, let us know because that's what we're here for.
Fuck him. He's good at work.
Yeah, well.
Also, no should.
No
good
should.
Or don't good. There is no should.
There's a lot of should in this podcast. So, our next game. This is another announcement. We're going to have our first guest next month.
But he's still. I consider him a member of the podcast. Although he's
Right,
never
but
been
he is going to
recorded
be our first, not normal.
yet. None of us are normal.
True. Not our regular cast. We're going to have our good buddy who runs the website and who helps to make this podcast become a podcast.
Yeah, without it, it'd just be a bunch of recordings on your computer, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Nick is going to be joining us. We've talked about him before. He's going to be joining because the next game we're doing is going to be Command & Conquer Red Alert 2, and it's one of his favorite games of all time.
Wasn't that supposed to be a payoff for like a joke we had or like a question we had in like a podcast?
Yes.
Remember, we were like,
third
hey, if you
podcast.
can guess this, what we're referencing.
Oh, yeah.
You're throwing everything you got at me, man. He's my
Yeah.
Mr. President. Whatever do you mean?
Exactly.
If anybody knows who that is and they email us, we'll give you some merch. We didn't get an email.
We don't have any
It was
merch.
Red Alert 2.
Not yet.
I would have fucking gone out and bought some shirts if somebody emailed you and was like, "That's from Red Alert
Oh,
2."
there you
would've
go,
thought I could
guys.
do that
Nate
too.
said it. So,
They
Red
would've been
Alert 2,
podcast shirts.
you can find it only, unfortunately, on the Origin Game Store, and only, unfortunately, they are selling it through a kind of bundle. So if you want to buy the entire Command & Conquer franchise, the good thing is it's only $20 for like, I don't know,
And it's worth it.
18 games or something like that.
CNC, Red Alert, Tiberium Sun, Red Alert 2. Those four alone are worth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Covert Ops and
just
Renegade, those are good too.
I just feel bad only having one option for you guys, but that's the only... We decided we're going to do this game kind of months ago for our anniversary episode, and didn't even do any sort of research and found out 10 minutes before recording that it's only available on Origin.
So you're saying I have to download Origin?
Unless you can find it by some other means.
Yeah.
I quit.
I have no problem looking to other means.
I'm just saying there are other means, but you should support the developers. I don't know. It's out there.
Westwood
It's out there whether you want to purchase it or not. And that's what we're going to be playing. It's going to be good. And, just going off of Diablo, I would say better cutscenes in Red Alert 2 than Diablo.
more entertaining, not better. But those
Semantics.
hammy salami sandwich cutscenes of clearly two people in a storage unit with a camera.
Hey, they were good.
For no reason, the actress who plays Tanya, everyone's in military uniforms. She's in a tank top. No reason why.
What? No reason? I thought it was because of the boobies.
It was.
No, the reasons is 80s/90s?
It did not come out in the
No,
80s.
no.
90s.
It was mid-90s, yeah. It was on CD. This is,
But, I mean, people liked boobies in the 80s, 70s, 60s, 50s. People always loved boobies.
I think you're very undereducated about history.
I don't think I am.
Before the genetic modification to get the hair off of them, most people didn't like them.
So that's going to be our podcast for the week, for the month.
For the year.
Oh, my God.
Also, so this was our anniversary episode, right? This is
Yeah,
12,
this was our
Yeah.
year. This was our year.
We tried to keep this year strict to the format, and we're going to get experimental coming up. So get ready for some weird shit,
Yeah.
you peoples.
Let us know what you think. If you want us to
Sounds
do
sexy.
newer games, older games, keep on going where we're going. We're always open to feedback. We've really enjoyed doing this. Let us know if you want us to keep on going on, because it's I don't really want to hang out with these guys outside of work anymore. So,
You guys have genuinely thought that? Like, I used to be much better friends with you guys before I got you jobs. I regret getting you jobs.
yeah.
I
I
regret.
barely see you guys at work.
It's great. I mean,
When we were talking earlier, you're like, back in the day when I was playing Diablo and you and I were first getting to know each other, I was really expecting you to be like, that's when my life went downhill. And then I thought about trying to do it again later in the podcast, but I couldn't find a good segue back into it to be like, that's when I decided my life sucks and it's gone to this shit.
no, it's been really good because I found someone who's just way nerdier and dumber than me.
Yeah.
And I didn't really have that before I met you.
When I got you a job, I did not think that, oh, he's just going to stand next to me and look good next to me constantly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, Mom.
So, thanks for listening to us for an entire year, and hopefully we'll continue on for another year. And that's going to be our episode. Let's have our goodbye. Somebody,
Oops. Time to die.
forgive me. I'm going to cut it. Wow.
I nearly threw up. Like,
I hope it was recorded too. Like
He was